Hello and welcome to the Tarkis Zone. Thank you for joining me. We're going to be playing the game Black Desert Online today, and these are the subscribers' questions to me that I'm hoping to answer right now. And I'm also going to throw in a couple other tidbits to round this off. But let me first start with that I had a subscriber ask me about components that I was using to get my weapon and armor reform stones done. You know, I have those factories going. The two key nodes that you need, I'm going to hit the M key here. You need to go over to the Altanova area. Here we are. Here's Altanova. There is a abandoned mine down here. You'll see that I've got two nodes I've invested in. And what's great about the game now is they tell you what you're going to get out of these nodes. Before they didn't. You had to go to a third-party website to figure out what these nodes generated other than its main component. So now when you scroll over a node in the game, it's going to tell you what you're going to get. Everything after the first item is RNG items. So here you've got the rough black crystal. That's what the question was, is where do I get those? Here's where you get those, but those are an RNG. So send a human here if you're looking for higher rates. Obviously send somebody higher than professional. Do somebody that's got some skill, a worker that's got some skill, and you'll get those rough crystals out of here. Now this node here gives you your platinum ore. So just do both these nodes and you'll get the platinum and you'll get the, so that's two components right there. Two, boom. Those are the two components that you'll be able to use to make these reform stones that I've been making. Now over here by Calpheon, the red tree lump is, let me scroll up. There is a birch node here, and I'm going to click here. Actually, that's I'm at the wrong node. I think it might be, yeah, it's this. This is the birch node. So the birch node here is giving me my red tree lump. Now you're asking yourself, okay, obviously that's not producing you enough to do what you're doing, Tarkis, and you're right. It's obviously not. What I do is every time I pass the auction house or marketplace here in this game, I just type in plat and I hit enter, and see I've got options here. So when this melted is available, I just gobble it up because there's no way I'm paying more. And also for the ore too, if you can get the ore, this is in bid, so I'm not even going to waste your time here. But if you can see either one of those available, buy them, because you'll be able to sell those crystals when you make those ultimate crystals for the weapon or the armor. You'll be able to sell a few of those back and keep a few for yourself if that's what you want to do. So that's what I try to do. Even with I also type in black. And even with the black crystal, see you see none of them on the auction house. That's what the subscriber was worried about, was I don't get any of those. And I haven't been able to, there they are, the rough black crystals or the black crystal. The black crystal is what you need. But you can use the rough black crystal to get to the black crystal. I've been anytime I come to the auction house, I type those two words in, black and plat. And if these are available, I buy them up, because those are the things that slow me down. It's not the red tree lump, it's the platinum and the black crystal. Those slow me down. But I'm making more money leaps and bounds selling those crystals. Now let's look at, I just got up, and that's why I'm addressing these questions now. Well, they're fresh in my head. I go to my listings. Okay, I didn't post any last night before I fell asleep. So I can't really show you that they're still selling. Like the wool. This wool hasn't sold in a while, so I'm going to hit cancel. And it probably has gone down in price due to the fact that I've suggested a lot of people to sell it outright. So it does sell outright, and you'll get a lot for it. It might get less than the 5 mil now, but it was definitely worth selling the wool outright instead of making the crafting costumes. But if you're into needing the costume, definitely make the crafting costume. Now let's talk about contribution points. I had another subscriber ask me, hey, if I invest a contribution point and I'm not really happy with that investment, can I get it back? Well, yes, you can get it back here. I'm going to hit the M key here. I'm going to go over to this Lynch Farm. Here's a node here. I can invest one contribution. Obviously, I don't want to send a worker there. I'm going to hit exit here. Now I'm invested here. I could send a worker if I wanted, but the problem you've got is once you send a worker here, I can't get my contribution point back until that worker's done working. You'll have to cancel that worker's action. What you do is you come here, you hit cancel action. The worker will finish the final task, then go back to home base. But if you go to your beer selection and hit repeat all, that worker will come back here. So you got to make sure that you don't do a repeat all before telling this worker not to come back here if that's not what you want to do, or get your point back. And this is what I'm going to show you right now. When I click onto this node, I can withdraw that contribution, and that's how easy it is. You'll see I got the 1 point back. That's how easy it is. So you're not pigeon-toed. If you invest contribution in this game, it doesn't lock you in or pigeon-toe you. You know, the confusion could be the fact that you might have had a worker there and it won't let you take that point back until that worker's done. Same thing about workshops. If you want to shut a workshop down, you got to tell the guy to cancel so he stops working there. And then you got to make sure that you either change the factory to something, the workshop to something else, or tell that worker to go somewhere else. Because once you go to tell your workers to go do their dances for the day, go work their nodes, if you go to recover all and then you go confirm and you haven't shut that node down or told that worker to do something else, and you do this, now you're at the mercy of that worker just started again, and you've got to cancel their action and wait for them to finish that task. Because it could be like an hour, and then an hour later they're like, okay, they stopped working, and then you got to go in there and make that change. So don't do that. I mean, if you're trying to stop a worker, remember that you got to come back to that node and either withdraw your contribution or tell that worker to go do something else. Well, I guess if you send another worker there, then that would stop it too. Because if your intention is to promote that worker that you told to stop and send another worker, then you'd be fine doing that too. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing. So the other thing is a question about energy. People ask me all the time, it doesn't seem like you get a lot of energy. And the reality is no, I don't have a lot of energy for this game. 170 is not a lot of energy. But that's all the energy that I need. As you can see, most of my videos, my energy is never at top number. And the only time it ever is at top number, 170 is maybe if I sleep 8 hours and I got up in the morning. But more or less, I burn through my energy. I mean, having a greater pool is great because you can get on your alts, because those guys are always going to be top, and invest. But for me, the 170 energy is working just fine, and if I get more energy, that's great. So there's no disadvantage about having more energy. That's great. I mean, people were just wondering why mine was so low, and that's really it. I mean, I just burned through it quickly, and I don't know if I have any more time in my day. If my energy was like 240, I don't know if I have that much time in my day to burn that much energy. All right. Well, I want to thank you for joining me. This has been the Tarkis Zone.